Or I'll say this, did he solidify your second best player on a championship question?
No. But he took a step in the right direction.
That's right.
Yeah. This was a great game. He had not had a good series, had one good game in the series, and broke this game open with his 17 points in the second quarter. And like Nick said earlier, I think Chet eventually will become the second best player on this team, but right now it's Jalen, and, props for what he did yesterday in his first ever, probably for most of these guys, certainly for most of them, his first ever Game 7.
Yeah, it was a super positive step that I think will pay dividends in the next round. I think Minnesota's very live, and I think Minnesota presents some defensive problems for Oklahoma City that the Nuggets
And I think
couldn't.
it goes both ways, kind of.
100%. And so I think that their backs were up against the wall, and they responded the way they did, super positive.
More wonderful. Colts released this new video on their social media. You know I follow the Colts on social media. A little Daniel Jones for Greg. And a little Anthony Richardson with the rec specs on.
Down my list of guys, but still in my stable of guys, is Anthony Richardson.
You were big on him.
Well, big on him is too strong. I didn't like any of that quarterback class. Now, CJ was in it, so it looks like I was wrong. But I said, if I had to take one of those guys, I'd take the guy who had the most impressive combine ever, even though he wasn't that good of a college player. Turns out, thus far, it's been more like his college career than the combine, but he still
throws a nice deep ball.
He still throws the best in the league.
A nice Hail Mary.
The best deep ball in the league. He can run. He's strong. I like to think maybe he just needed LASIK. Maybe.
I have to pause Weird and Wonderful because our director, Rick, who basically never talks to me during the show, except if I'm like slouched over out of this little box, hopped into my ear and said, Riley Leonard is in the video.
Oh, yeah, the Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah.
That's
his only editorial
Rick
note
got name checked. Rick came in the conference room today and did a 15-minute back and forth with me about how Scotty Scheffler could end up in the golf GOAT conversation.
I heard you guys talking about that.
And
you took the bait, though. They're going on and on.
You can't
I'm gonna go hang out with Brew on the third floor.
With a absolutely specious sports argument.
He just keeps going.
Yeah, I'm out there on Brooks Koepka's Wikipedia page. I'm talking about old Tom Morris, the whole nine.
All right, final wonderful. We're headed back to the Garden, where Steve Sharippa was in attendance as Derek White got his shot smacked. Some of these, I just knew this was going to, when Derek White's going in the hole, there's 3 guys chasing him. Like, there's nothing available there. You know what I would have done?
But you don't
pull up from 3.
But it crossed his mind, believe you me.
Now he's like, you know what?
Missoula was yelling it.
Pull up.
Shoot the 3.
Hit the bridge right there. Yeah, Knicks win. That's Weird and Wonderful from the Nashville Pastimes. Giannis, an impromptu Twitter Q&A where, depending on your outlook, he either was dropping breadcrumbs on where he wants to go or just typing. He wrote that, quote, Florida cities made him the happiest, while New York was his favorite road city to play in. Brew, was this something or nothing?
I think it's nothing. I think LeBron loved playing in New York. Did he ever come to the Knicks?
Everybody loves playing in MSG.
Right. I mean, LeBron would say that. And it never came to the Knicks, obviously. And Florida, guys like Florida, Now, he did say the city, so Orlando isn't quite as popular as going to Miami.
No, not quite.
But
Giannis does seem like a Disney World guy, though.
That's true. His family love Disney World.
Lopez brothers love Disney.
But look, Miami doesn't make sense basketball-wise. Nick has talked about it. That's like you'll be in the same position as you were in Milwaukee.
Correct.
All right? The Knicks are interesting for this reason, and I don't think it'll go to the Knicks. I think it's going to be San Antonio or Houston. All this talk about Golden State, we can dream. I don't see that happening. The Lakers, I don't see that happening. Even New York is interesting because now, what if they get to the finals or win the finals? Now, those are 2 different situations.
Even if you get there.
If they get there, can he go there?
No. Honestly, no.
Because if you're the Knicks, let's flip it quickly. If you're the Knicks and you get to the finals, You still trading for Giannis?
Well,
yeah.
If you win the finals, you might trade for Giannis.
I mean,
If you could, but he wouldn't. If you're Giannis, you trying to
if
go
it's
there?
as simple as trading Karl Anthony Towns and swaps and stuff, then yeah, of course. You trade for Giannis,
Even
no
if
matter
they
what
win,
you.
I
But
agree with that.
But
But if-
Giannis
yeah,
is like,
if
I'm
I'm
going to
Giannis, I
walk
don't
down
wanna-
the Durant path.
Right,
I'm
no.
gonna take the
No,
easy
but
way
so,
out.
but I don't think people would. Durant, to be fair, they won the title, then they lost, and he went there, and people, looked at that side-eyed. I don't think people would look at Giannis joining a Knicks team that if they lost in the finals as that. Oh, that's the easy way out. I don't,
Well,
because they
and
haven't won
also-
a championship in 50
right,
some
that's
years.
the thing.
They aren't viewed as a juggernaut. They don't have a league MVP already on the roster. Like, even if they made the finals and then added him, I don't think people would look at it that way. Here's the thing. I think Knicks fans might be like, nah, run it back. Like
yeah.
Go ahead.
Are we also sure that Brooklyn is not in the mix? They have all these picks.
I just don't know why he would want to do that.
That's where I'm at.
Then stay in Milwaukee.
I don't know his thinking, but there's no why in the world would he go to
Why are
Brooklyn?
you laughing at me?
Just because Brooklyn's not Milwaukee.
No, I'm not. No,
It's about the
I'm talking
basketball.
about the basketball standpoint.
I know, but just then start building
But
around.
he doesn't.
It's
want to
time for him to win
He's
right
not
now.
trying to leave Milwaukee.
He's gotta win right now.
because he got tired of Bratwurst. He's trying to leave Milwaukee because they can't win a championship. So to leave there to go to a team that also can't win a championship doesn't make sense. to me.
But Brooklyn has far more flexibility than in the. He gets there. Do we still have flexibility? I think the answer is yes.
Except flexibility. Here's the thing: he can't sign there as a free agent. They would be trading a lot of that stuff to get him. So you know what I mean? They don't have enough talent on the roster as is. So you would trade whatever couple decent players you have and a bunch of your picks to get him. Then you're there. So that I agree with Brew that San Antonio and Houston are the leaders right now from basketball reasons, a lot of things. I also want to put a little bit of cold water on listen, when I was eliminating teams for the Giannis sweepstakes, I eliminated Golden State because they cannot win any type of bidding war. Like their assets are, even if Jonathan Kuminga raises trade value, it doesn't matter. And so people have argued, well, yeah, but what if Giannis says that's the only place I want to go? What if he had an agreement with the Bucks from behind the scenes before he signed the last extension? Like, I'll sign this, but if it doesn't work out, I get a hand in it, all that stuff. I do not think that would be smart for Giannis. I think if you're Giannis, Golden State, yes, he and Steph would be awesome together for a year, maybe two. And then he would be right back in a position where you can't win. Or you have, you know what I mean? You don't have stuff around you. You're Giannis, so maybe you always can win. And do you then want to go to another team? Like, I would think if you're Giannis and you've been your whole career with one team and you were thinking about moving, you're like, okay, I'm going to spend half my career with this team or 2/3 of it with one team and then the final third with this other team. I just don't think Golden State has that type of runway. They're built around a 37, 35-year-old and then Giannis.
Well, that makes sense. And also, if you're the Bucks, it's like, look, we want to work with you, but we're not just going to do something that doesn't benefit us.
Right.
We'll have a list of teams that benefit both of us, and we'll go from there.
Consumer Reports used road tests, owner surveys, and safety ratings to name Subaru their 2025 most